Hi there, Occupy the Need Act friends. This is William. I'm in Norman, Oklahoma. And I didn't even check the temperature. It must be about 40 or 50 degrees, probably about 50 degrees. So it is 2:25 p.m. on Tuesday, December the 1st. And behind me there is the administration building for the University of Oklahoma. Uh, that architecture is kind of unique, not really. It's Frank Lloyd Wright called this architecture uh, Cherokee Gothic. Cherokee is an Indian tribe that's around this neighborhood, and so it was the Gothic style and Cherokee, and Frank Lloyd Wright used to visit here quite often on his way from Chicago to Arizona, where he had a house and a school and and uh, and his students gathered, and they would come by Norman on the way to Arizona and visit with Bruce Goff, which was our master uh, uh, architect. One of the greats was right here in Norman, and he designed things that included nature in interior spaces. Uh, there's a house about 2 or 3 blocks west of here that actually has a waterfall in it, and uh, he made living spaces where they were like nature. And so, anyway, that's Frank Lloyd Wright used to come here and visit, and he called that architecture there. Let's see if I can tilt this up just a little bit. Come on. It ought to go up. Wait a minute, I gotta press that button. Yeah, there we go. Call that Cherokee Gothic. There we go. So, okay. Well, I've been listening to the president-elect announce his appointments, uh, listening to the senators say that they have talked to the staff at the White House about what the president will sign, and that they want to get a uh, uh, a COVID-19 bill passed and something else. I don't remember what it was. So a stimulus bill they were going to get passed. I think they were upset that the members of the House was trying to include marijuana in the bill. These fuckers, they uh, they don't want us to have any fun, and of course that's our Puritan base that we were established by Puritans. We've been a Puritan nation from the very beginning, and and not and we've been murdering people that don't go along with us by the thousands, by the millions, uh, and still doing it and doing it right now. And so let's we can change things because whoever controls here we got the bells. Okay, this will just be short. Whoever controls the power to create money controls a nation. And that was given away to the bankers right in the very beginning of our first constitutional convention of the United States. uh, by Hamilton and George Washington. Uh, in the Constitution, the power to create money lies in Congress. But they, in their wisdom, their not wisdom, gave that power to Hamilton's friends, who became our first bankers. There were no banks in the 13 colonies, okay? The English wanted us to have banks and have a monetary system like they have. And hi there. And we said, fuck no. And we fought a war. We died. We invested money in it. We invested our lives in it. And then Washington and Hamilton gave it right away. It reminds me of Stonewall. Hi there. How you doing? So, guy just told me to put my mask on. Well, I'm not close to anybody, and I'm in the outdoors, so and that's okay here in Oklahoma. And no banks in the colonies. We fought a war to keep from having banks, and then we come around and we have banks. Not only did we give the power to Hamilton and his friends to create banks, they knew that Congress was going to make whole all of the debt of the colonies, all the certificates that the residents and the citizens had invested in that they thought was worthless. They went out into the colonies and bought this up for pennies on the dollar. Took it back to Washington, or took it back to Congress. Congress buys it, and they use that money to capitalize the first bank of the United States. The first bank of the United States was born in fraud, and it has been ever since. And I hear the president-elect talk about how he's going to make it much better for us and things. You got Yellen, who had been chairman of the Federal Reserve, and now she's going to be chairman of the Treasury Department. These are bankers. And you think they're not going to do for themselves what they're going to do? Sure they are. And they're going to be left out in the cold. The NEAT Act. What it does, it's by a former Congressman, Dennis Kucinich of Cleveland, Ohio, who started his career out as a young man, a 26-year-old, fighting the banks in Cleveland. He was the mayor of Cleveland. The banks wanted to foreclose on the power company, and he said no, and he got away with it. He beat the banks, okay? Well, now he's introduced this bill in 2012 that does beat the banks. It ends their fraud. They're going to have to be like everybody other business. They're going to have to pay for what they sell. Now they punch a button just like that, and whenever you want a loan for that new car that you want, that they've arranged so that you have to buy that car, okay, because they did away with public transportation and our investment in public transportation. So when you agree on the loan and they sign all the papers, the banker turns around to his computer and goes and turns back around, says, Mr. Smith, look at your bank account, and you'll see that that $30,000 is in your account. And there you go. He created it right then. He didn't have it in the bank. That money wasn't in a vault anywhere. He created it right then. Now, with the NEAT Act, he's going to have the money in the bank. He's either going to have capital, or people that loan or give him authorization to use their money to loan, or the third thing, they're going to have to come to us and ask for us for money to loan. So we will be able to determine who gets money. Right now, the banker does that all on his own. So let's get the NEAT Act. It's okay. First thing it does is it nationalizes the Federal Reserve, puts it in the Treasury where we think it is now, but it's not. It's entirely a privately owned banking system, and J.P. Morgan Chase owns almost 50% of the stock. We're going to buy all the stock. We're not going to rob it from them like they would do it to us every chance they get. Steal our assets, make us have to put them up for collateral. Then we'll buy their stock with the new dollars that we're going to create. It's not going to cost us anything. We're going to be able to create the money and buy their fucking stock. Okay, then we're going to end the power of the banks to create money, which is now called the fractional reserve system, where the bank's supposed to have 10% of the money that they loan out, so that if there's a run on the bank, there'll be money there. That doesn't exist, because as soon as the bank makes a loan, okay, it creates the reserves in the system. It's all there. So that night, if they have to have some reserves, that particular bank has to have some reserves, they can go to the Federal Reserve and borrow the money because it's there in the system. Okay. And that's the kind of money that we never see. It doesn't get into circulation. Reserves do not get into circulation. They enable the power of the bank to loan money. So, okay, we do those two things. Nationalize the Federal Reserve, end the power of the banks to create money, and then we create money and spend it into the economy. And all of the safeguards for this are in the NEAT Act already. You can look it up. H.R. 2990 of the 112th Congress, okay? H.R. 2990 of the 112th Congress. And you'll see, and it's not really complicated. It's not a complicated bill to understand. And so there is a website that you can go to, NEADACT, NEEDACT.org, NEADACT.org, and you'll see people there have written about the NEAT Act and explained it and talked about it, and there's videos, there's slideshows, there's all kinds of information there on the NEAT Act that you can start educating yourself. And I'm in the group that does that website. I'm an observer in it. It's actually in the Green Party, and I'm not a member of the Green Party, and so, but I've been active in this monetary reform since 2011, and was part of the creating of this website that you can go to and get information. And in fact, I was the one that said the Green Party. This website has two URLs that link to it. One of them is greensformonetaryreform.org, and then this other one is nedact.org, and I'm the one that said, let's make it simple. Let's put in nedact.org and make it link to the website, and so they've done that. And it's a group of us that have been really active in this. We had an attack go on in the Green Party that from a group called the Modern Monetary Reform, and nothing modern about it, and nothing monetary about it. All it is a scam to keep the bankers in charge of our lives. The bankers have got it arranged where we have to come to them for everything we do. These sidewalks that are right by where I'm building these buildings, they were all borrowed money. All of them. Let's turn this around here and see where I'm sitting. There we go. There's the administration building. There's the Carnegie Library over there. That was where the high school was when I was a student here in the 60s. And then that's the old law library right there. And we're sitting on what's called the North Oval. And so you can just see. Now, we're going to be able to have schools that teach what we want taught, not what the bankers want taught to us. The bankers start right out threatening us with that paddle that's in the principal's office. Remember that in the first grade? Yeah. Start right off threatening us. And so let's get the NEDAC down. And I took a Black Studies course in November. Pardon me. And one of the things I learned was right in the last lesson that the Black Panthers, the people that were burning down America, are the ones that got the civil rights legislation passed. We've been told over and over it was nonviolence that got it passed. Well, it wasn't. It was violence that got it passed. They were burning down America. And there's a new Black Panthers party. It's called the New Generation Black Panthers. And they're very active. If you look at my Facebook page tonight, I don't know exactly whether you'll see it or not, but you probably will see a meeting that where the Black Liberation Party and the New Generation Black Panthers are going to do in Portland. Be interesting to see what they've come up with. But see, back in that time with the civil rights legislation, Africa was up for grabs. There was the Soviet Union, and then there was us that wanted to make our stand in Africa, and we couldn't have blacks burning down America while we were competing with the Russians. So here we go. I've been on 15 minutes now. Been on 19 minutes. That bell rings every 15 minutes. So Johnson did a deal with the blacks. stop burning down America, and I'll give you the civil rights legislation. It wasn't Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King wants the blacks to be like whites. He's an assimilationist. The blacks have brought to us in America the things that are liked all around the world, like jazz, and now it's hip hop and trap music. It's liked all over the world. Now, probably if you're in my age group, you listen to trap music, you think it's a train wreck that's happened. But no, the young people like that music. And of course, jazz, we know that it's all over the world. I was meeting with some people in their home in Calcutta, India, back in the 1970s. What was on the record player? Jazz, American jazz. So, okay, I think I will stop now. Let me turn this back around. There I am. Okay, so glad you tuned in. I'll see if anybody joined in the conversation later when I get to review this, because it's on. We're on Twitter, and besides Facebook, we're on Twitter and Periscope too. So, and this will be posted on my YouTube page too. Okay, bye now. Glad you joined.